Good morning, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, and welcome to this week's Weekly Energy Boost. My name is Elisheva, and I'm here with David to share with you the spiritual guide to negotiation. If you're alive in the year 2024, you know that in order to make your way in the world, you have to be prepared to stake your claim, to hold boundaries, to say what's important to you. And if you're on a spiritual path, make sure that the target is win-win for everyone involved. And this week is pushing us to reconcile the everlasting dispute between what we want, what we need, and what's ultimately going to benefit everyone around us as well. And that's why we're talking this week about negotiating. Weekly Energy Boost is a 7-day spiritual weather forecast where we provide our listeners with the most powerful and practical tools to navigate the coming 7 days through teachings and tools from the wisdom of Kabbalah. And every episode inevitably offers tools and wisdom you can use any week of the year, any year of your life. And because we're beginning today, Monday, the new moon of Pisces 2. This is one of those years on the Kabbalistic calendar in which we have 2 months of Pisces, which allows the spring months to stay in spring and the Kabbalistic windows in time to remain in the frames in which they can serve us best, both on the calendar and energetically. And so we have the opportunity to download more energy of miracles, of abundance, of unity. And we're doing that not only today on the new moon of Pisces, but throughout the month. And one of the things that Pisces tend to struggle with is communicating their needs and their wants and their desires. Having a desire, as we talked about last week, tends to be a challenge, or 2 weeks ago, for Pisces themselves. Being able to have drive and desire and work towards something with an unwavering commitment is not in their wheelhouse. And so today, as we begin this conversation about how to negotiate in a spiritual and light-focused way, we want to also remind our listeners that having desires and wanting things and holding strong boundaries is not a bad thing. That the spiritual laws of the universe are fixed. There are very hard and fast rules to the way that the universe operates. And where we learn, how we gain the wisdom of Kabbalah, how we understand how to lead our lives is through understanding the laws that govern our universe. So in the same way that there are no exceptions to the law of gravity, there are never any exceptions to the spiritual laws of the universe as well. And in that sense, sticking to the story of creation and the extensions of that story is really how we inform the journey of life. How do we know if we should let go or keep pushing? How do we know if we should give up or if we should be relentless? That's all teachings that we understand from the way that our world was formed. And that's really our starting point for this morning, looking at the different opportunities we're going to have over the coming week to fight for what's important to us, to make sure that we get whatever it is we think we deserve, we need, and what's important to us. We do it every day. We do it with the barista at our favorite coffee place. We do it with the cashier or the server at the restaurant we're eating. We do it with our family. We do it with our friends. And now we're going to do it with the light as well.
What do you feel people are looking for around this topic of, let's say, spiritual negotiation? I mean, what are people looking for here?
Well, I think one of the first things that comes up for people when they need to have a conversation in which there is a negotiation on the table, it can even be in a romantic partnership, right? This is, where is it going? What are my needs? What have you done for me lately? I think people on a spiritual path feel bad being selfish and having wants and needs.
Wow.
And in the same way that maybe in a business negotiation where you're negotiating for a promotion or a higher salary or different responsibilities, there's a part of every individual that says, maybe I don't deserve this. Maybe I'm not worthy of it. Maybe it's not in the cards for me, which is one of the most annoying things I hear for people.
That's annoying.
You don't get to decide if it's in the cards for you. That's up to the creator. You still need to make your effort and push and fight for what you think is important. So I think that part of the conversation starts with the understanding of if the opportunity to have the conversation is already there, you need to go all out. There's no reason that you need to be able to restrict. There needs to be restraint in the conversation, but there's no reason for you to negotiate with the creator while you're negotiating with the other person. Maybe I do deserve, maybe I don't deserve, maybe I'm not. Put that aside and take out the tools and stake your claim.
You know what our teachers have taught us, which I don't know if fully, all of our colleagues have heard this, but to be entitled and audacious with the creator. I think people think that's a bad thing. The only place we should be entitled is with the creator, not with people. Entitlement with people is very unattractive, and it leads to isolation and ego. But entitled with the creator is very powerful.
How does that look?
So how does that look? Entitled with the creator means that we should have the audacity to tell the creator, scream at the creator, beg the creator for everything. Not to be small, but to be big. Because why is this powerful? Why does this work? Imagine you have a child who feels entitled, not entitlement from the point of not appreciative, entitled from the point of your child comes to you and says, Dad, I feel I want to learn everything from you. I want to know everything. I want to be everything. I want to receive everything.
Find me that child, by the
Right,
way.
exactly. What we're saying, as a parent, how good does that feel, right? A child who wants to download all of you. And, but of course is willing to work for it. I'm not saying be entitled with the creator and just do nothing. I'm saying, creator, I want it all. And I want you to show me what I need to do to have it all. This is the most powerful prayer, mantra, request you can make to the universe, to this world. Creator, I want it all, and show me what I need to do to earn it all. As we've learned in Kabbalah 1, the concept of bread of shame. Bread of shame means the shame that the souls have felt when they came down to this world around not earning the Creator's light. We had received the Creator's light for free prior to coming to this world. We felt shame about that. We asked to come to a world of darkness and concealment and illusions. We go through tests on a daily basis by which we now need to earn the Creator's light. So that solves pretty much the main reason why we came to this world. We came to receive the Creator's light. So having a desire for it, as big a desire as possible, is the first piece of spiritual work we need to do. And the second is, now that we've built the desire for it, to request knowing what we need to do to earn it.
And how does that knowing show up? How do you know what you're supposed to do for it?
This is a great question. People ask it all the time. I always say, well, one way you can ensure you don't know is by not asking and not wanting. I've seen that 99 to 100% of the knowledge of how to do something comes when you truly crave to know it. We don't need to be busy how it comes. We just need to build the desire. In fact, Kabbalah says the only free will we have is our desire. If you have a real big desire to know something, to be somewhere, to be someone, you attract the reality.
And you're not talking about the desire of like, oh, I wish I could know, or it would be really great if I knew. It's that relentless demand.
Oh, yeah, I'm not saying, oh, it would be nice. It would be nice is the devil. It would be nice is purely the Satan. It is the biggest trick that the evil inclination has ever pulled.
That's the Pisces mode.
Pisces energy.
It would be great if I had more money.
It would be great. It would be great means I'm not doing it, but it would be.
But if it falls into my lap, more power to it.
Yeah, falls in my lap. Forget about that. It is the desire that manifests the fastest is one in which I can't live another moment like this. I can't imagine my life anything but this. I always bring up the example because they live in such extremes. It really helps delineate spiritual points. The Navy SEAL, the BUDS training, where they have this like 2-week, what they call Hell Week, that they put these people who have such a desire to be Navy SEALs through this intense training, where I think the percent that actually pass is less than 8%. Over 90% of these, the most fit, the most talented, the highest trained, the most disciplined people are failing. And who are the ones? What are they looking for? They're looking for the ones that either they want to be a Navy SEAL or they're willing to die. Anything else is a danger to put them on the field at that level, right? Hey, you want to go just be part of the standard army. That's not a problem. But to be a SEAL, or maybe a SEAL Team 6, which is even a higher level, there has to be I'm totally sacrificing my body consciousness, and I want nothing more but this. And those are the ones who psychologically are able to download the strength to pass the training. And the famous quote, I've shared this many times before, I keep forgetting what the percent is, but I think what I had heard was, when you feel like you can't do it anymore, you're out of gas, you're tired, your body's shutting down, you're ready to tap out, ring the bell. Science says you're only at 20%. You still have 80% left. But your body makes it seem like you have nothing left as a protective mechanism. So how do you tap into the 80? It requires this insanely powerful consciousness to A, know that the 80 is there, and B, to call it in. To tell the body, to override the body's protective mechanism and say, hey, I know you got reserve. Bring it.
Now, how do we translate that to negotiation skills and transactions between individuals on the physical plane, where there isn't the desperation, or there isn't the perceived danger, there isn't the struggle? Or,
well, what kind of negotiation are we talking about?
well, maybe we can divide it into different categories. I feel that most of our day is spent in negotiation, right? I'm trying to convince you of something. I'm trying to sell you on a concept or an idea or a project I want to do at work, at home with my family. I have my schedule I need to get done. I need to tell my husband, you need to be here. Can you do this? Right? It's all give and take. But there are also those pivotal moments where decisions need to be made that are going to change the trajectory of a company, a project, a relationship, a household, a family, and so forth. So the question is, how do you navigate that, right? From the small to, I'm trying to get you to see my point of view, which is basically what negotiation is. I have a perspective that I'm trying to sell you on or bring you over to my side, versus I need something from you, and that I need to prove to you that I am worthy of receiving it. So either way, there's this, it's like a light and vessel conversation, right? And that's, to me, that's what I often tell people when they need to, quote unquote, sell the other person on an idea or a concept, is you're the light. You give, you say what you need to say, you share what you think is important. You don't have any control over what the person does with it. That's how, to your point, you're working, it's really between you and the creator. The fact that there's another person that you think you need to convince is part of the illusion of the physical reality. What's yours is yours, and you're going to get it eventually.
So my take on that is, I don't like bluffing. I want to create the best product that sells itself. I don't even want to have to convince you that you need to receive whatever this product is. And by the way, the main product that we're all selling is ourselves.
Right.
Right. And let's say in a relationship or in a friendship.
Or if you're dating.
Like, I shouldn't have to sell you on why I'm such a great commodity. If you are the commodity, people feel it. So I rather spend most of my time investing in the 4 levels of what makes a person attractive energetically, because these are the 4 qualities the creator has. And these are actually 4 qualities that King David said the masculine energy should have. And when we're talking about men and women going out into the world and providing value, they take on a masculine role. Right? King David said there's 3 qualities that a person must strive for. And we can actually break that down into 4 categories in our physical world. The 3 qualities are, in Hebrew, he says, Ashir, Gibor, V'chacham, is wise, is strong, and is wealthy. These are the 3 categories. Science says that there's 4 buckets that these 3 fit into, which is spiritual, emotional, intellectual, and physical attraction. Is a person striving in these 4 categories to become the best version of themselves? Not to become like other people, not to compare yourself, but look at your potential. I often see, people are in the best shape of their life or the best health like 6 months before a wedding or 6 months after a divorce. It's always the 6 months before or the 6 months after. Why is that, right? Person should ask themselves. It's because they feel the impetus to prove something, or they're trying to get something. But during the relationship, there isn't as much of a desire to be there. So that's one. What about spiritual? The same thing. When are people most spiritual? When there's some kind of chaos, some kind of failure, some kind of betrayal, some kind of loss. Everyone becomes spiritual. People always ask me. I had a couple one-on-one meetings recently, And I get the same question every time. Why is this happening to me? Why did I just go through this breakup? Why did I lose this business? Why did I go into this health challenge? And my answer is always like, I have a question for you. Would you be here talking to me if it hadn't? Would you be taking Kabbalah 1 if it hadn't? The answer is most certainly no. I said, first off, the fact that you are asking these questions, that you do have a desire to be with the Creator, that you do have a desire to look inside your soul and see what's going on and why you're here. What needed to happen for you to get there? This. You can't argue with that. So whoever is hearing this now, I always ask myself, what needs to happen for me to crave the Creator? And try to anticipate what needs to happen, and then you can avoid it by starting to crave proactively now.
The other two?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I jumped around. So like the wisdom. So as King David said, the wisdom part of it is kind of that craving, the craving to know the Creator.
So it's not actual facts and knowledge. It's the wisdom to know what's important.
And the wisdom comes when you crave it. If you crave to know the Creator will reveal Himself to you. What does it mean? The Creator will reveal Himself. He'll reveal His qualities, His essence. He'll reveal to you the secrets of certainty. He'll reveal to you the secrets of health. He'll reveal to you the secrets of beauty, because the Creator is healthy, beautiful, powerful, wealthy, strong. That's what King David's trying to say. You want to know the Creator will reveal Himself to you. Strength. We know that it is attractive when someone is strong, and it is unattractive when someone is weak. We do not like weak people. We shun weakness. No one celebrates weakness. Even when someone shares their weakness, it actually denotes strength, and so we celebrate it. But we're not celebrating the weakness itself. Strength, Kabbalistically, means your consciousness is strong. You have certainty beyond logic. Your logical mind is saying, this is bad, this is annoying, I can't do this anymore, I'm done. And you say, okay, we're going to rise above that. We're tapping into the 80% that is sitting in reserve. This is very strong. People give up fairly quickly when they're going through a tough time, or they run to old patterns of instant gratification. Can you be strong enough to fight through that? That's the second category. The third category.
Wealth?
To be wealthy. What does that mean? We know there's the Kabbalists and sages for the last 4,000 years can be broken up into two categories. One, they were extremely wealthy, trillionaires. They had, in their version, enough cattle.
Infinite resources.
And then there's the ones who were very poor. However, both of them had access to infinite resources. Whether it manifested physically or not, we know that they had, it's funny, like we talked to one of our senior colleagues. He's not wealthy, right? We don't, being part of a spiritual path or a nonprofit organization is not really a good career move. So he doesn't actually have his own net worth. But he says to me, it takes me one phone call. There are people all around the world who would fly me in their private planes, or kings. Like he has such a spiritual power that everyone who is physically powerful in this world wants him to be around them, wants his advice, wants his presence. It's more powerful than actually being wealthy. He has access. He has infinite access.
Well, I think it goes back to the question of, would you rather $10 million in the bank or the knowledge that everything you need would be taken care of?
Correct.
One has a finite, as a decimal in it, that Correct. It ends when it runs out, and the other is limitless.
Correct. That you can draw from endlessly. But it goes even deeper than that, which is the consciousness of I am wealthy, the consciousness of abundance, the consciousness of I am not lacking, I have, is one of the most valuable pieces of consciousness. I know our teacher, Rav Berg, said he wouldn't leave the house if he felt lack. If there was any lack or void, it means that you're walking into a war zone, you're going to get demolished. You have to go out as the creator. You have to go out with consciousness of, I already have everything. Otherwise, you'll be needy, you'll make mistakes, you'll run after instant gratification, you'll judge to fill the hole. So, to be wealthy, the physical wealth comes when you already realize you don't need the physical wealth and you feel the wealth inside of you. So it's not the law of attraction, it's the law of resonance. What you resonate with will come to you.
But I think that that's all anyone needs to hear about negotiating.
That's right.
That if you come into any kind of exchange with another individual and you come from a place of lack, you will always lose.
That's right. You will always lose. Think of professional athletes, boxers. If they go into that ring with doubt or fear or lack, as skilled as they are, they're going to lose the fight. Because and that's why other players sometimes try to get in your head, because they know if I can get in your head and make you feel doubt, you've already lost, because the creator's not going to be with you when you have doubt. So how can I get you to disconnect from the creator?
And then I bet some people could listen to that and say, well, then why would I bother even having the negotiation? Why should I even open my mouth?
What if I told you 98% of negotiations happen before you even meet them?
Right.
We see this in the Bible with the story of Jacob and his brother Esau. He did all the negotiation prior to meeting him. Then when they met, they just hugged and cried it out. There was nothing left to talk about because he did 3 very powerful things, not for this episode, but people can listen to our classes on Kabbalah.com and whatnot. There's 3 things that he did to negotiate with his brother's soul before he met his brother. So,
well, that I think also it's an important reminder that what you get or don't get, what you deserve or you don't deserve, is not between you and the person you're negotiating with or the entity you're negotiating with.
Right.
Right. Even if you're having a conversation with your partner about the relationship and I feel I'm not getting enough X, Y, and Z, you can get that X, Y, and Z without having the negotiation.
You can. That doesn't mean we shouldn't communicate.
Right. I wanted to make it. There's a point about making the effort and nurturing the connection by having that open flow of communication and expression and safe space to say what you need to say. But the real result is going to come from the work of the 2 individuals do independently when they come after, and then they come together.
And then they come together. Because I've made this mistake in the past where I've exclusively only negotiated in the upper worlds and then never communicated in the physical world. And that is also a problem.
Of course. I think that
it's a very Pisces thing.
It's a very Pisces thing. I do a lot of introspection and self-reflection and
then
accountability.
Forget to actually talk.
And then don't ever acknowledge any of it with my partner. And it's funny. It's we laugh, but there's so much. I think that's probably one of the most important secrets about negotiation is that it's important that you know your value.
Yeah.
But it's also important that you express your needs, your wants. I mean, my family, part of my family is in HR, like headhunting and stuff like that. Yes. And I always hear people talking about how to prepare for an interview and how to sell yourself and it really is about you being clear on the value you bring.
Yes.
And being able to effectively communicate it. Because if you can sell yourself, you can sell the product, you can sell the service. But if you're floundering about,
I love it.
So part of that 50% of the work is between you and the creator, but we're here in the physical reality to live these principles and express them in real time. So there is a need for a meeting, a conversation, a discussion, knowing that most of the work has been done ahead of time between you and the creator.
I love that.
Any last thoughts for our floundering Pisces students and navigating that Pisces energy?
Just to strive. Each one of us should just constantly be striving to improve who we are before the impetus to do so comes. We have to have an internal drive to crave the wisdom, the wealth, strength. And I think that people taking Kabbalah and always, plugging the way we suggest people to learn through Kabbalah One, Kabbalah1.com, to invest in their consciousness. It's the greatest investment you can make. And that opens every gate.
It opens it, right. And again, it doesn't replace action and conversation. It simply amplifies and strengthens the actions and the conversations.
Beautiful.
Weekly Energy Boost is available on all podcast platforms, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. You can visit our website, weeklyenergyboost.com, to find out about the things we discuss on every episode, as well as the opportunity to support our podcast through donations that you can make at weeklyenergyboost.com. But of course, the best way to show your support is to share this episode. If you're listening on a podcast app, to rate and review it. And as always, we'll see you next week on the Weekly Energy Boost.